Hi, everybody. So today is Tuesday. That means it's time for Theater Tuesday. And today we're doing one of my little videos as opposed to an interview or a podcast style video. And we're talking about the pro shots that have debuted this year. And what a pro shot is, if people don't know, it is a cinematic event of a Broadway musical. So it's not just a static filming of the Broadway musical. No, they actually make it into a film. It's called a pro shot, where when you get close-ups, you get wider shots, it's an actual cinematic event, and a lot of times they are Fathom events at the theater. And we recently saw Waitress the musical, and so I was really excited to get to revisit that. There's been a couple others this year. I had a hard time finding like just a solid list of pro shots. I've looked all over online, and I found 5 pro shots. I've seen 4 out of the 5, and I just missed seeing Titanic the musical on the big screen, and it is not premiered on Broadway HD yet. But my friend Marin reviewed it for Utah Theater Bloggers and had good things to say about the pro shot. So I'm definitely going to look forward to seeing it as soon as it comes on Broadway HD. But yeah, I did see a production of Titanic the musical at Hale Center Theater this year. So this was a filming of the UK tour, so it may have been anywhere on the UK tour. And like I said, I have not seen it, but I've heard good things. And Marin, in her review, she says the Fathom event broadcast of Titanic the musical is a treat for historical buffs, theater lovers, and anyone interested in the grand story of the unsinkable ship. It is well worth audience members' time to see this production in movie theaters. And indeed, not only should audiences see this particular masterpiece, but also support in general the idea of theater being shared internationally through a broadcast. The more access people have to great art, the more it will spread and grow on Broadway in London and in communities large and small. So I completely agree with her on that, and I look forward to seeing it when it goes to Broadway HD. I just missed it at the theater. I can't remember what I had that weekend that it was a Fathom event. But anyway, so that is one of the pro shots that we had this year. Then another pro shot that you can watch on Broadway HD is The Prince of Egypt, live on the musical, live on stage. This was filmed in London, and they had the entire production that was canceled, unfortunately, because of COVID. But they were able to film it, and I think in general it is very pleasing to watch. The spectacle of it, the performances are all really good. All of the original material from the animated film, which is one of my favorites, it's in my top 10 favorite animated films of all time, and so all of that is all good. Wonderful music. And like I said, the spectacle of it, the way they use projections, the way they use they create the feeling of ancient Egypt, and the things like the party in the Red Sea and all the stuff is very, very impressive. Most of the new songs were very forgettable to me, and just the thing feels stretched out. The pacing is so excellent in the original film that when you try to stretch it out to almost 3 hours, you feel it, and I understand they have to make it longer for Broadway, but so often I feel that way in these animated film adaptations, screened stage, that it does feel stretched out. And I mean, this is certainly better than the Anastasia and some of the other recent adaptations, but I think it still has some room to grow. They still, before it goes to Broadway, I think they still have some refining to do, especially on some of those new songs, in my opinion. Then the next production is a stand-up, but it was on Broadway. It's Mike Birbiglia, The Old Man and the Pool. I was new to Mike. I had never heard of him or seen anything with him, and but I do remember when I was one of my Broadway trips, seeing the signs and the things for this The Old Man and the Pool. And he does have a backdrop on the stage of a pool, and that is part of him taking up swimming after he's diagnosed with diabetes. then he starts swimming, and that's part of the jokes. And I thought this was great. I really enjoyed it. It was very funny, stand up, and not too raunchy. So if you like stand up and you look for something that's cleaner, then this was pretty good. It had a little bit of language and things like that, but not much. It's pretty good. I would say this is solidly PG-13. So yeah, I thought it was a lot of funny jokes about getting old and our bodies and aging and things like that. So a more obscure pro shot that I got to review this year is Corey Ten Boom's The Hiding Place. And this is a very important book in my life that it was based on. Corey Ten Boom's experiences in the Auschwitz, and especially the example of her sister Betsy is just so moving, and her forgiveness story. And so this is a filming of a play adaptation of The Hiding Place. They spend a lot of time building up this family before they start hiding, the Jewish people, and there's less time on the Holocaust events, and then on the forgiveness part, which is one of the most moving parts. There's less time spent on that, but enough that it was still moving, and the overall production design was very, very effective, and I thought well done, immersive, and some of these things I think can be difficult to feel authentic and believable as they are in the book. And I don't know if they 100% nailed that it's so moving in the book, but I think they got pretty close, and well acted. And Nan Gurley as Corey Ten Boom, I think she was very good in that role. And Carrie Tellis as Betsy was also really good. Definitely attached to them and their story, and you wonder if you could be as brave as they are. And it's a beautiful story, and I think this is a worthwhile play. And I'm not sure where you can watch it now, but keep an eye out for it. I appreciate it, and it's a moving, inspirational, well-told story. Last, we have Waitress the Musical, and this was really fun for me because it was the same a cast that I had when I saw it in October of 2021 on my trip to New York after COVID. And it was comforting to watch then. It's comforting to watch now. And especially Sarah Bareilles, she wrote it, to have her performing it was really special. And when I saw it live, but then to see it again was just really cool. And I think that this musical does a lot of things that are really tricky to do. I tend to not like stories about cheating when that are sort of justifying it as it's like valid or right, but I don't think that's really what they do here. It's just kind of her story, and I don't think she's sort of proud of it, or that it's saying it's like a great thing that she does thing, or that because her husband's a total jerk that this is the right choice for her, but it is the choice that she makes. And so you're kind of following her, and there is humor, and there is heart, and there is everything that you want in a show. The songs are really catchy. I love Bareilles and her voice. I just love her singing, and like I said, it's got a good mixture of heart and humor. And Drew Gelling playing the doctor is just the best. He's so handsome and charming and awkward, just what you'd want. I think it's well captured here in this pro shot. They make a few touches to try to make it a little bit more cinematic. Having a baby at the end, for instance, is definitely something you didn't see in the regular staging. And the way that it's shot, the way that it's handled, I think is definitely trying to make it extra special. So I would definitely recommend going to see Waitress the Musical. It's going to get a wider rollout, so you have a chance even if you miss the Fathom event. So those are some of the pro shots from 2023. Like I said, I'm sure that there were others. So if you know of some, please let me know. I would love to see them and hear about them. And what are some of your favorite pro shots? There's so many great ones. I love the She Loves Me pro shot, for example. And there's a famous one of Into the Woods. There's so many popular pro shots. So I would love to hear what are some of your favorites. Of course, Hamilton, what practically got me through the pandemic. So what are some of your favorites? I would love to hear in the comment section or on Twitter. And please like this video. Please subscribe to the channel. Please check out my podcast on iTunes and check out all the Theater Tuesday episodes. I would love to have your feedback on that. And I'm just really proud of the whole series. So please check those out. I'll have that in the description. And please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel. And please check out the Patreon and merch store. I would really appreciate it. And thanks so much. We'll talk to y'all later. Bye.